Good afternoon, everyone. Just a little note today, just to kind of connect with you today. I'm going to start. People will be checking in and out of the thing, so I'm going to go ahead and start of what I really want to talk about today. Question with mediumship, and today is supposed to be the way of the medium, the way of the connection to the medium. And I want to start off because I've been always connecting to spirit, connecting to the vibration of spirit through most of my life. Most of my life I've been connecting to spirit, connecting to the higher source, working on that through my life. And that was a lot through meditation, connecting to the vibration of spirit. And that was what my mother used to teach me, especially when I was a child, younger child. My mother used to sit me down and make me look at a candle sitting in the middle of a room. And I tell you, people, that's just a very extremely powerful exercise to do, is when you're sitting in a room, set a candle out in front of you. Set a candle there. And set it on a table, set it on a vibration, set it on a table, and just set it there for a while. And just stare at it. Just stare at the candle. The practice is not making your mind just keep looking at that candle, but it's a focus. Whether it's a candle, it's a picture on the wall, it's something you put out ahead of you. And what you do is you look at it. And what happens is once you look at this vibration, once you look at this connection, once your mind wavers, once it wavers and takes off to something else, like you see something over here, you see something over there, what happens is you bring your mind back to the object, or bring your mind back to the candle. Sure, those things are going to happen when you're in meditation, when you're in connecting to spirit, when you're working with spirit. What's going to happen is it's going to bring you back to balance, bring you back to center. So what you do is you take your time and you watch what's going on ahead of you. What you do is you watch what's going on ahead of you. And that's what my mother used to teach me. She used to teach me on how to connect to that. So by placing something out ahead of you, whether it be a candle, whether it be a car, whether it be something ahead of you, like a picture on the wall. And what you do is you stare at it, you just keep looking at it. And once your mind starts to waver, like you have to get up, you have to go do something, you have to do this, you have to do that, what you do is you sit back, and you bring your mind back to center. You bring it back to the vibration of center. And then, after a while, after a lot of practice, a lot of working with that, you're going to notice that spirit, you won't have to kind of bring your mind back to focus. Your mind will stay focused. I've worked on that for most of my life. A lot of times in my life with doing that. And what happens now is when I look at a candle or I look at something and I focus my intent on it, my mind doesn't waver. I keep it completely focused on that vibration, so my mind doesn't go somewhere. Well, Louise Hayes, when she does 101 Thoughts, and she does these talks, Louise Hayes, she says, sure, when you're meditating, when you're working with spirit, when your mind wavers, acknowledge the object, acknowledge what's going on, but bring your mind back to center. You can acknowledge it, but bring it back, and keep training yourself to be back there. Another quick thing I know that when I teach this, there's books on it that you can buy at the internet. On the internet, you can buy them at garage sales. They're pretty cheap now. They were back in the 60s, back in the 70s, and they used to be called Magic Eye. What they were called, Magic Eye books. A new way of looking at the world. So they're Magic Eyes. And what happens with that is when you're a child and you're working with spirit, or you're working with the vibration of spirit when you're a child, kids can look at these Magic Eye books and all of a sudden they see it. They're like, oh my God, it's there. Oh, it just bounces up for them. But as we get older, as we get into this vibration, as we get older, into our 30s, into our 40s, getting older, we don't really see those that quickly. We have to train ourselves to see it. And I noticed that when the picture starts to come full force within your vibration, when it comes full force, what happens, it brings both sides of the hemispheres of the brain together, allows you to throw your vision a little bit out of center, a little bit out of kilter, I call it, by moving your vision a little bit out of kilter, looking at one spot, looking at one vibration on the wall. What happens is it allows the other vibration of spirit, or the connection to the spirit world, to elaborate itself. So by getting these books and working with them, you're going to allow yourself to throw your vision a little bit out of kilter. See, when you're doing mediumship, and people are trying to do mediumship around and looking at people and seeing if they can see spirit and connecting to the spirit world, if you look at the whole picture, the whole vibration, look at someone sits in front of you, and you're looking at the whole vibration of spirit, you might not see what spirit really wants you to see, but if you allow yourself just to look at one pinpoint. When I teach about the seeing the aura, because most of the vibration of spirit is going to appear in the auric field, So you're going to see the auric field. But when you're looking at somebody, you're not looking at the whole vibration. You're not looking at the whole face. You're not looking at the whole vibration. You're looking at a part of the body. You're looking at the ear. You're looking at the shoulder. You're looking at a part of the vibration, a part of it. And as you look at this, as you elaborate upon this vibration, what you happen to do is it allows the auric field to open like a blossom. But you're only looking at a point on the vibration of the body. Same thing with the magic eye. You're not looking at the whole picture all of a sudden. You're looking at a pinpoint of the picture and allowing it to blossom to full value. So when you're doing mediumship, it's allowing yourself to go out of kilter, go to kind of throw your vision out of sync a little bit. Be able to allow spirit to move and allow it to light the whole thing in front of you. I learned that when I was young by watching the candle, by watching an object, bringing my thoughts back to that object, learning how to meditate, learning how to breathe, learning how to put myself in balance. And by breathing, teachers will tell you, oh my God, just breathe in, breathe in through your nose, hold in your lungs, breathe out. But I always explain to my students that by breathing in, breathing through the third eye, breathe as if you're breathing through your third eye, right in the center of your forehead. Act as if you're breathing through your third eye. Just pull that air up through your third eye, hold it in your lungs to a count of 5, and then breathe out into the universe. And continue to try to do that. And try that during this week. During this week, try that. And you're going to notice that the third eye, this vibration in your third eye, will start to get tender. It'll start to hurt a little bit. It'll start to have a little bit of pain there. It's not like you're doing something wrong. You're doing something right. Because what happens is you haven't used it for a while. And it starts to infiltrate. It starts to work that pineal and the hypothalamus gland up in your brain, and starts to secrete situations within your vibrations. So you're working that area of your body to open the third eye so you can actually see spirit. By working in that endeavor, find something, and by finding this, the magic eye, throwing your thing out of balance, looking at situations of vibration, asking your guides, meditating. These are keys here, little keys that you can use. Also by finding a place in your home. It's psychometry, it's a connection to the objects, a connection to the vibration. You want to work with police, you want to work with finding some people, you want to work with trying to find individuals on the spirit side of life, or somebody that's lost, or somebody that's lost. You have an object you touch and you hold on to, and that's by allowing yourself to connect to that object. Same thing with meditation, same thing with mediumship. is when you sit somewhere and you meditate. You sit in that space. What happens when you sit in that space, you have that energy of meditation. You're going to meditate, you're going to talk to guides, you're going to talk to spirits, you're going to talk to loved ones. So you're sitting in your space. Now, you might not see that the first day, but you've already put that energy into that chair, that space that you're sitting. Now, the next day, you sit back in that energy. And then you build it some more. You build it some more, you leave more energy there. And as you keep going, you keep dropping energy into that space, into that vibration. And pretty soon, you're going to sit in that space and you go, oh my God, they're here. Oh my God, I feel them. Because of the psychometry of the space. If you dropped a piece of paper every time you sat and meditated, after a while you'll have a very large pile of paperwork around that space, because every time you leave energy in the space. So it's all psychometry, it's connecting to a higher vibration, and sitting in a space where you feel comfortable. And then don't allow anybody else to sit in it, because you don't want somebody else to be dropping their energy into your space. When I do readings in my office, I have a chair that I sit in that I read from. It's my chair. I don't allow clients, other people, other situations to sit in that chair. I don't allow them to do that. That is my chair where I have placed the energy from doing readings. And all the readings I've done over the years, that chair has taken on the energy of every time I sit in there to connect to spirit, to connect to the energy of spirit. The same thing with my client's chair. When I go to do readings during the day, I'm going to go talk to somebody, I'm going to have somebody in my office. What I do is I sit in their chair. I sit in that chair before clients come for the day. I sit and do a quick meditation. I get quiet. I sit in that chair, a quick meditation, and I allow my energy to take over that vibration within that chair. Now, the reason I do that is because when I go sit back in my chair where I am sitting, when the client walks in, they're going to sit in the chair that I've already positioned that energy. And that energy, the vibration of the individual, will sit into my energy, not somebody else's, but mine. And I usually try to break the energy between clients from that space, because before the next client comes in, I'll go sit in that chair and clear the energy, clear the vibration before they actually come in, and allow them to sit in my energy, not someone else's. That's why, because some people think that, oh my God, the person gave me the same reading, the same vibration as before. It didn't change a lot of the vibration, because what happens is you are reading the energy of the individual that just left the chair. So you're trying to break the energy within the chair. Same thing with you read tarot cards. When you read tarot cards, you break the deck. You tap the deck. You do something with the deck before the next client comes in. You don't just read the same deck, never do anything with the deck, just read the same deck as the other person is touched, because you haven't broke the energy of the vibration, the energy of the reading. So by doing that, by these little things that I teach people to do, the same thing is when you're trying to get psychometry, you're trying to set your psychic vocabulary. I call it the psychic vocabulary. It's because you're setting what means things to you when you're doing spiritual work. If I believe that a red rose is a birthday gift, so if I see a red rose in your vibration, probably I'm going to think birthday gift, because that's what it means to me. But a red rose to you might mean father, giving a rose to your mother, and you're getting this strong connection of fatherly energy. I probably wouldn't get that with a red rose, but that might be what you get. Same thing with a yellow car. You might have got a yellow car for a Christmas present. Your parents bought you a yellow car, thought it was the best car in the whole world. But I might have got almost ran over by a yellow car, so I'm not going to think the same vibration. So not every vibration or every symbol has the exact same meaning to everyone. You can read every symbol book, and I tell people you can read every symbol book on the market, and then you could be in the process of reading every symbol book, but not every symbol that person tells you is what it means to you, what it means to your vibration. It's what it means to you, what it connects to you. And that's how you set your psychic vocabulary. Get yourself some envelopes. When you get through the time, we got time off, people are out of work, they're home, get something, get some index cards, get some envelopes. Write something on a piece of paper, slip it in the envelopes, put it in a basket, shuffle them all up, pick them up, hold them in the palm of your hand, and ask yourself, what is this? What does this mean to me? What happens at that point, what happens to that vibration, what happens at that point is you start to feel what's in that envelope, what's in that vibration, what's in that connection, what's in that energy field at that point. So by putting it away, not knowing what you're touching, and asking yourself, what do you sense? You can do this with photographs. You can do this with other things. With photographs, I like trying to tell people, keep one person in the picture. Don't have a whole group of people. If you say, oh, I feel a gentleman here, and you got gentlemen and people and children and women and all kinds of people in the picture, you're not going to get to that point. But if you have a picture that has one woman in it, and you touch the picture and go, I sense a woman in this picture, and then if you pull a picture over and all the person is a woman on the picture, you start to do that. I tell people to take their thumbs and do the chakras in the center of your palms of your hand. Center of the palms of your hand. Every once in a while, just take your thumbs and push on the center of the palm of your hand. What happens is that starts to activate the chakras in the center of your hands. It starts to activate that vibration. So you want to activate that. So when you're touching an object or touching someone's hand, you're getting that strong feeling of connection to spirit. My guides have always told me if I want to hold somebody's hand during a reading, they want to hold their hand, hold their vibration, hold their hand during a reading. What you do is you hold left to left, like their left hand to your left hand, and you take your right hand to cover it with protection or cover it with love. But you're connected heart to heart, my heart to your heart, left hand to left hand. And that actually brings a stronger connection to the spirit world through that direction, instead of just holding your hands straight up in the air or placing your hands on top of someone's hands. It works a lot better in that way because you have a stronger connection to the person's vibration. Everybody's not exactly the same, so different people will come to your office, different people will do things in your office, and you'll have to kind of just allow yourself to read them the way you feel you should be reading them, because not everyone's going to accept everything you tell them. They aren't. Sometimes they don't know who the people are, because these are people that have followed you through your life, whether they were friends, acquaintances, people that have checked into your vibrations throughout your life. You might not remember a lot of the vibration, but these are the people you need at this point in your life to get you through some situations within your life. You're not going to pull the plumber into your house if you have an electrical problem. You're going to call the electrician. So what happens at certain points in your life, you attract certain people that are going to help you through those vibrations within your life. That connection of vibrations throughout your life, they will appear in the vibration. They will appear. So what you're trying to do is trying to make that pure connection with the individual. And if you need to touch someone's hand to facilitate the reading, I have people who read with tarot cards, people who read with pendulums, people that read with different vibrations of energy. It's what you perceive is your best way of connecting. And the tarot cards, the pendulum, touching the hand, all this other stuff, all these are, as you would call, tools, the tools of doing the work. But what it does is it takes you out of the way. It takes part of you out of the way. It takes you out of the way of yourself. It allows spirit to work directly through you as a vessel. So you want to try to do something. And if you watch mediums work, if you watch them work, and you watch mediums connect to the spirit world, you're going to see they have little quirky things they do. Maybe they touch the platform, maybe they touch their ear, maybe they touch their face, maybe they rub their hands, they stomp their feet, they move in a certain way. There's different things that people will do when they do readings that throws that one part of their brain out of sync so that they can have a pure connection to spirit. You can rub a cord on the microphone, you can do different things. You notice that people have certain little things that they do that actually takes them out of the way. And That's what you're teaching yourself, to get yourself out of the way. Get yourself completely out of the way so Spirit can work through you. I've said before in things I've done with classes and different things with people, remember you have 3 guides that you should get some kind of contact with as your gatekeeper. Your guardian angel, whoever you want to call it, is the person who allows everything in and around your vibration. They stand at the gate, and they open the gate and allow who's supposed to come in and around your vibration. They are your gatekeeper. Your physician, your doctor, your physician in your vibration, the one that takes care of your health, the one that takes care of your well-being, the one that takes care of your energy field, your physician. That is the person you should get to kind of know, because that is another guide that is very, very influential within your vibration. And then there's the alchemist, the one that creates things for you, creates money, creates the vibration of love, companionship, things in your life. They create that. This person creates that vibration. These 3 guides, the gatekeeper, the physician, and the alchemist, will stay within your life throughout your life, will stay within your vibration throughout your life. Other guides will change. You could have a joy guide, some other guide that actually stays with you throughout your life. But most of these 3 guides will stay with you throughout your life, throughout your existence on this earth plane. So getting to know them, at least their energy when they're appearing around you, when they're in your vibration. So you have a good sense when they're here. If you're wanting to create something in your life, which is money, a job, career, a relationship, situation in your life, then you're going to deal a lot with the alchemist, the one that creates things for you. If you're having health vibration, or you're having health connections within your life, then you have to realize that we have to realize that your whole vibration for you is this connection of the vibration of energy around your vibration. So allow yourself to connect to the whole consciousness that's within you, the consciousness was connected to the vibration around you. So it's when you're connecting to the vibration of spirit, that connection of who you are. So by dealing with these guides, by dealing with these people within your vibration, you have a strong connection of who's here, who's around the vibration, who's with you. And these could be loved ones. These could be connections of loved ones, connection to the vibration of spirit. So by reading the book Magic Eye, you can buy one of these books for a couple of bucks at the garage sale. Or you can find them at a used bookstore, very cheap, very reasonable. And start playing with that. That'll help you. But by being in contact with different vibrations, different energy fields, different connections with people, because everyone's going to see you differently as you do a reading. But my mother used to tell me when I was a kid, I was young, my mother used to always have me connect to my guides. She'd sit me in front of a mirror when I was young, probably about 6, 7 years old, and she said, stare into the mirror, visualize in the mirror. And I would. And with me, I could actually see spirit walking. So when my guides would walk through, they would walk through my room or sit or do stuff in my room, I'd sit them down and I'd give them a reading. I would talk to them. And they would kind of wag their face. They would look at me. They would smile. They'd make a little face, and they'd bring somebody else in to talk to me. There were different things happening when I was doing readings when I was young. And I would always be able to talk to the spirit guides or people that are walking through my auric field. I'd say, oh my God, I'm going to read you. And they would sit and they would work with me. And my life was a little different than some people's, but my mother kind of enforced me, because every time relatives would come over, she'd have somebody sit with me, and I'd give them a reading. I would talk to them. I would work at my mediumship. I'd work at it. And I was raised a little different, because we always had people in our house either doing table tipping, we were doing seances, we were doing personal readings, we were doing different things in our home. It was always always something was going on spiritual within our home. Whether it was a Bible reading class, when my father was holding that, my grandmother was doing this, or somebody else was doing something, there was always something spiritual going on in my home. So I always had that practice throughout my life to work with spirit. So A lot of people who are in this world today, they don't really have a lot of time to connect and work with spirit. They don't know, my God, it's like, I don't have all that time, I don't have all that energy to do that. I don't even have enough time to meditate. But as I said here, if you just sit somewhere in your home where you feel comfortable, and sit for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, it doesn't matter, but pick an avenue of a time. So if you do 7 o'clock at night or 7:30 at night, then tomorrow night at 7:30 or 7 o'clock, you sit. And you do that for 8 weeks. You do that 8 weeks. You make an appointment with Spirit for 8 weeks. And then what happens, you start to build the vibration or build the power within your being and allow yourself to connect to higher spirit. Explain to people too that if you open the door and you say, all right, I'm going to speak to Spirit. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to speak to Spirit. Well, remember, if you do that and you start to speak to Spirit, you don't really get to shut the door. They're going to be around you. They're going to be trying to talk to you. They're going to be trying to work with you. They're going to be trying to do things for you because you've opened the door. You've allowed them to know that you're there. When I walk through a nursing home, people that have passed that nursing home are standing around. They're standing around. And when they notice that I see them, oh my God, bets are off. They're running up to me. They're running up towards me. They're talking to me. They're trying to converse with me because I see them. They know that I see them, so they have this conversation with me. I never get out of a place of business or a place where I go without at least somebody trying to speak to me from the spirit side of life. So I have to learn how to shut it down. I have to learn how to shut it off, kind of shut the curtain, and then I'll learn how to turn it on when I really want it working for me. And that's by getting yourself some kind of keywords in your life. Keywords. Say a saying or some kind of saying that you have to turn your mediumship on. And then do some kind of saying to turn it off. Have those two sayings that you fulfill out to the spirit world. When I'm working, I will say this, and I will talk to all of you. But when I say this, when I say these words, or I say this saying, I don't want to be bothered right now. I don't want you bothering with me at this point. Because Spirit has a way of connecting. Little thing the other night was my wife's birthday, and I had made a card. I had these 2 beautiful little stone hearts that I had placed on the table next to the card. So I've gone to bed, turned the lights off, gone to bed. And then, about 15 minutes in bed, all the lights in the house was flickering. And I said, oh, God, what's going on with the lights? So I got up, got out of the living room, looked around, nothing was happening, the lights all went back to normal. But I checked the table, and one of the stone hearts was gone. And we still haven't found it. We still haven't found the stone heart, so I think Spirit has come and taken it. It'll eventually reappear. It will reappear somewhere in the home. But somebody has taken it. And that's the same thing as Spirit will remove things from your home. They will remove things. They will bring them back, but they will remove them. So they remove situations from your home. Many years ago, my wife got a pearl necklace from her mother, got left to her pearl necklace, and we had it on the table. It just disappeared one night. It disappeared. And for 5 years, we looked for that pearl necklace. 5 years. And what happened through those 5 years, and then eventually that pearl necklace showed up on the table, or it showed up on the dresser 5 years later. In a place that we knew that we had not left it, we had not envisioned it there before. It was not there, it had never been there, and all of a sudden it reappeared there. So the question is, Spirit will move things, rearrange things within your home. Same thing with your office, your reading room, your vibration, your reading room. They'll rearrange things, they'll bring things into the reading room, they'll do situations, they'll move things, they'll rearrange things, they'll reset the vibration for you. So you have to really understand how you perceive it, what you're looking at, and watching how Spirit's working with you and how Spirit's putting things in your vibration. Because you have to realize that everything in your life is exactly how Spirit wants it. They want to try to maneuver situations around you. That's why you throw yourself out of balance. That's why you throw yourself out of kilter here, because you want to get that full view of what Spirit's trying to tell you, what they're trying to converse with you, how they're trying to work with you, and how they're trying to put things in your vibration. So by learning how to do this stuff, and these are just little steps that you need to do, is find your place to meditate. Find it. When you find your place to meditate, that you're going to be quiet, then set a candle or something out ahead of your chair or ahead of your space. So you don't have to look at it all the time, but every once in a while, practice with it. Sit and stare at it. And when your mind wavers, bring it back to the candle, bring it back to the object, until you eventually don't waver. You don't waver from that as long as you're looking at the object. You don't waver from that. You're teaching yourself to be more focused within a reading, more focused within the vibration. Because when people do readings and they do connection to Spirit, they kind of really know that if you're doing this whole connection to Spirit, you kind of know that all of a sudden you've got this television screen going off ahead of you. And then off to the side, you got people talking. Then off the other side, you got somebody else talking. Then you got something going on over here. You got little children running around on the floor. You've got things going on here. You have 3 or 4 different things going on all at one moment. And plus the TV screen is running at full speed. So now, out of those vibrations, you've got to make a reading. You've got to make a connection to a reading. And what happens with that is, usually that blur of all this energy usually lasts about 20 seconds, 30, maybe a minute if you're lucky. All of a sudden, it gives you spurts of all this energy. It's just like, boom. And out of that vibration, out of that whole connection of what you saw, you've got to try to make a conducive reading, or at least start the reading, start the vibration of what you felt with this vibration. And I have a little thing I teach my class, or I tell them, you might in your reading see a squirrel, a Ferris wheel, bicycle. Now, the squirrel, Ferris wheel, bicycle, they all have a meaning to you. They don't have a meaning to the individuals. They have a meaning to you. And what you have now, that's all you've gotten from Spirit so far. That squirrel, that Ferris wheel, and that bicycle. Now you've got to try to give the person ahead of you in the vibration. You have to start it so they can start the screen again, start the vibration again. So what happens is you have to, my grandmother used to call it about, back in the old days, they used to have these video things that on a big round roll, and you just turn this thing, this crank, and as you turn the crank, the pictures would turn, and the picture would come in view. Once you stop turning the crank, the picture wouldn't turn, the roll wouldn't turn, the thing would stop. So what happens with doing this is you're giving it energy, and as you give it energy with the reading, the wheel starts to turn again, and you start to get more of the picture, more of the connection, more of the picture, more of the vibration. You're being fed information as you do the work. So if you looked at somebody and said, you know, dear, I see a squirrel. You know, that squirrel is here. And there's a Ferris wheel off in the distance. There's a Ferris wheel off in the distance, dear. And I see that Ferris wheel moving off in the distance. And then I know there's a bicycle leaning against a tree. God bless you. Now, most people that would come to you for reading would think you were completely nuts. Now, because you didn't give them anything, any of the vibration of the thing, what you have to do is, what does the squirrel mean to you? What does that Ferris wheel mean to you? What does that bicycle mean to you? And what you do is you try to tell a story. I have taught many years ago CERT, C-E-R-T, C-E-R-T, CERT. Communication. Communication. What you're doing is you're working on communication. You're working on communication with Spirit. E is for evidence. Evidence. What is the evidence? What is the vibration? Especially if you're dealing with Spirit or you're dealing with the Spirit on the other side. What is the evidence? What is the evidence that you're trying to bring through? Reason. R is for reason. Why are your guides here? Why are these people talking to you? What are they trying to communicate? Reason they are here. Your mother, your grandmother, your people in the spirit world do not come all this way from the spirit world to this world just to say, I love you. They're here for a reason. They've come up for a reason. They've come here. They're just not going to say, I love you and walk away. They're going to come in and say a lot more than that. They're going to communicate with you with things that are going on in your life at this point that they want to communicate with you with. And T is to tie up loose ends or tell a story. Tell a story. Well, really good mediums or people that do this work are able to tell a really good story. Tell a really good story. Bring everything together, take you on a journey. My mother used to call mediums certain types of mediums. There were mediums that booked your trip, got your luggage, got you on the plane, got you to a different country, got you to all the good places in a different country, got you back on the plane safely, got you back here with your luggage, and got you home. Then there are other mediums that lose your luggage at the airport. You fly into a different country. You have no idea where you're at. You eventually get back to the airport, and you never get back to where you're supposed to be. They lose you somewhere on the journey. And if I said squirrel, Ferris wheel, and bicycle, what I would as a medium, if I saw that in your vibration, I would explain to you that there is a lot of vibration of storing and putting things in motion in your life. There's a connection to a higher sense of consciousness around you. I feel like you're storing a lot of things in your life, possibly having to let go of a few things within the vibration around you. I sense a lot of the movement within your vibration is connecting to a higher sense of consciousness about allowing yourself to see something new, a connection of new. The Ferris wheel is round, so it's going to be a circular situation. It's something in your life is running in circle. It's running in a vibration of connection to a higher sense. And the bicycle has round wheels on it too, which signifies the Ferris wheel, the round wheels of the bicycle, traveling, moving, reorganization, traveling to a different space within your life, connecting to a higher sense. So a lot of this, how it connects to you, how it puts that vibration in motion. There's another book I tell people to try to get, especially if they're going to be doing this work. It's called Living Rainbows. That's what it's called. It's a very small book. It's not that big of a book. It's called Living Rainbows. And it actually teaches you on a very basic situation on how to see auras. Works very well for people. I've used that book for many years in my classes. It gives people a chance to see auric fields very easily and very quickly. If you can see the auric field, then you're going to see spirit or connection to spiritual energy filtering itself within the auric field. So if you see that or you connect to that vibration, then that is a book that you should at least have in your library. It's called Living Rainbows. It's a very easy book to read. I just tell people there's little cards in there to use. There are different things in the book that work extremely well with trying to see the auric field. Because mediumship is on a personal level. It's a personal vibration of how you perceive spirit, how you connect to the spirit world. This whole vibration of how you perceive it, how you connect. Not how somebody over here in some other country could have wrote a mediumship book, told you exactly how they connect to spirit, exactly how they propel this. And you try to follow that path. You try to follow that journey. It doesn't quite work for you. It doesn't work for the vibration. So now you're kind of lost on the path. You can't find your way down the path because this doesn't work for you. It doesn't fit the vibration for you. So then you give up. You leave the work. I teach people differently. What I do is I teach individuals to follow whatever path that they feel that works for them. And as they venture down the path, what is on the path for them? I teach people how to read tarot cards, teach people how to read sticks, Cherokee smoke readings, wax readings, ink readings, different things, different vibrations. I teach you how to read different ways of doing mediumship work. what that does is you might see something that I teach you, and you might go, oh, that works perfect for me. And somebody else in the class might go, no, I don't really care. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. It doesn't really work for them, but it works for you. So I teach different ways of doing mediumship. And with you, whether it's healing, whether it's mediumship, whatever you're doing here in your spiritual work, find a lot of things. Take what you need from different vibrations, different energies, different vibrations, and then allow yourself to make yourself your own journey, your own vibration. Pack your own luggage. Pack your own luggage. So if you allow somebody else to pack your luggage, probably most of the clothes and different things in that luggage are probably not going to fit you. Not going to fit your vibration. They're going to fit somebody else's vibration, not yours. So allow yourself to pack your own luggage, your own vibration. Same thing with tarot cards. A lot of spiritualist mediums, a lot of people that are in spiritualist work, spiritualism, those are tools. They don't want you to really use tools. They do mental mediumship. But I still feel like in this vibration, if tarot cards work for you, then use them. If I Ching works for you, there's the divination of coins. If they work for you, use them. If runes work for you, use them. If reading with sticks work for you, read them. If wax reading works for you, and pouring wax in a piece of paper and folding the piece of paper and sealing it and then pulling the paper open and reading what happens with that wax inside that paper, maybe that works for you. But you find something that connects to you. You go, oh my God. What happens here is, we used to have a gentleman here in the camp. His name was Robert Johnstone, Reverend Johnstone. He used to do butterfly readings. And what he used to do is just take paint. He used to have you come in the room, and he'd have a white piece of paper, and he used to hold that open. And he used to take these colors of paint, just a little dab of paint into the crease of the paper, into the crease of it, and be talking to you and working with you. And then he closed that. And when he closed it and he opened it back up, you notice that there was a beautiful butterfly. It almost looks like a butterfly in there, but of different colors, different hues, different vibrations. All that oil paint mixed together and made an energy, made a vibration. And people would see the energy, have that visual contact to the energy that he made through folding that piece of paper together, and he would give you a reading from that. The visual. Same thing as tarot cards. They're visual. They're a visual representation of what spirit would like you. Has nothing to do with the medium. Has nothing to do with the medium. Medium already sees things around you, knows exactly where they're going. Cards are mostly for you. Mostly for your vibration is to get the vibration of the medium out of the way. Also for the visual effect on the person getting the reading. And just allow yourself to take these different classes, different vibrations, figure out what works for you. If sitting quietly, looking at an object works for you, maybe looking at an object works for you, it connects to you, like, oh my God, look, I got myself trained. It's when you can sit 15, 20 minutes without allowing your mind to waver from that object, whether it be the candle. Candles work really well, because if you work with a candle, you're going to notice that there are going to be images in the candle. Animals, different images within the candle flame. Works extremely well by bringing your object right to the candle flame. The candle flame will change energy, it will change color, it will change the vibration. You just focus on the candle flame. And when you do that, what you're doing is you're allowing yourself to move to that next vibration. I always explain to people, unless you've committed something completely crazy in your life and your guides are coming here to save you, your guides do not appear in your vibration until you raise your vibration, raise it. It means through meditation, through connecting to that auric field of connecting to a higher sense, your guides will meet you on the path. But you have to make that effort to meet them, to join them, to connect to them. And that's very simple in how you do that. It's just by meditation, by breathing through your third eye, by holding the breath in your lungs, by breathing out, by sitting quiet, by picking your space that works the best for you. Tell yourself also to Get yourself a clear quartz crystal. Get yourself a quartz crystal. Put the quartz crystal in your hand, or put it in your lap when you're doing meditation. And then when you leave that meditative space, let's say you go on vacation, you go somewhere, and you need to meditate. You brought your whole meditative space with you in that quartz crystal. You sit in your lap and sit where you want and meditate. You brought your space with you. You brought it with you. That works really well, especially if you have a lot of time. You've got to be away from your home, away from your space when you meditate. You can do work outside of your home. You're away from it a lot. Then you then use the quartz crystal. But it's the ABCs about mediumship. It's studying your psychic vocabulary. What does blue mean to you? What does yellow mean to you? What does red mean to you? It's what these things mean to you. I could tell you that an owl means wisdom and knowledge. And you go, no. Owl means this. But an owl might mean something different to me. An owl really to me means some kind of new birth, a change of existence, a change of understanding. I learned that from a Lakota Indian. And I just liked the way that he explained what an owl meant. And that way, that meaning of what an owl means has always stuck with me because of what he told me and what I agree that is what it should mean. The same thing when you're doing readings or you're doing things. It's what it means to you. It's how it connects to you, how it connects to the vibration to you. If you're doing a reading with somebody and you're doing a reading, say, you're telling somebody you have their father here, and their father is in spirit, and the person says, oh my God, that's my father, that's my energy. Where did you feel the father's energy? Where did you feel it? Usually what happens is different parts of the family will appear on different parts of the body, on different shoulders. Like mother's father, right shoulder, then it'll be the father's side, will be on the left shoulder. So the question here is, the vibration is where you feel the energy. Now, next time you're doing a reading and you feel energy in that part of the vibration, and that's where the father came through on the last reading, there's a very good possibility whoever this is from the father's side of the family or is a father vibration. There's a connection with the father's side of the family. You're teaching yourself the directions so you don't have to spend a lot of time running and trying to maneuver yourself through the auric field, trying to take a lot of time trying to maneuver yourself. What you do is you kind of watch and get a saying. You get something that when you're doing a reading, find something, as I said, find something that you say, okay, Lou, this is what I'm going to do to open my mediumship up. And say that little prayer, say that little vibration that you say before you start your work. You don't have to say it to the whole crowd and do a little fancy little dance and all this stuff in the front of everyone. Just say a quiet prayer in your head, or you could say a prayer out. And I like Joseph Fertel. He's a medium here in Florida, but he was on workshops with us. He was at workshops with us, and when he was sitting up there, when he was sitting there doing workshops, and he was telling everybody to count back from 10, and he told everybody to count back from 10. So everybody in the audience was counting back from 10. He said, when you get to 1, yell out your name. Yell out your name to me. And then when they did that, it just raised the whole vibration of the room up to a higher level. It just raised the whole energy of the room. And I thought that was really kind of cool, the way he did that. So that's something I put in the back of my mind. So, I like that. I like that. I had an English medium friend of mine used to tell me, he said, Louis, he doesn't say that women are overweight. He doesn't say certain things about how a woman's weight is if he sees them in the spirit world. If they're overweight, he just kind of tells the person they're built more for comfort than they were for speed. I like that. I thought that was kind of cool. I liked that, so I kind of put that in my mind thought, and when spirit wanted to use it, they can use it. So you take things from different mediums, different vibrations, and you place them in your auric field. You place them in your mental thought. So your guides, when they start working with you, go, oh, use that, oh, use that, use that. They start picking things off the shelf as they enter your vibration for you to say to the individual ahead of you. The individual ahead of you. Because you want the people to understand what you're trying to bring through. Sometimes I just wish they would just step up and go, my name's so-and-so, tell them I'm here. Oh, that's just awesome when they do that. That is the most awesome thing when they do that. But a lot of times it's like follow the breadcrumbs. Follow the breadcrumbs. They drop little breadcrumbs. And you're trying to follow the breadcrumbs and trying to find out how they're working with you. Because not everybody on the spirit side of life is going to work with your energy field. They're going to be there, but they're going to like skipping a rock across a lake. You get bits of the information, but they're not really conveying a lot of information because they aren't exactly truly connecting to your auric field. Years ago when I did a reading for a lady, her grandmother would not speak to me. Would not speak to me from the spirit world no matter how much I tried to. Somebody else had to come in from the spirit world to mediate through her because she wouldn't speak to me, not because she didn't like me. Her grandmother was an alcoholic. And her grandmother didn't like me because I don't drink. She wasn't going to speak through somebody that didn't drink. So she wasn't going to speak to me at all. But she brought somebody else up to speak to me because she wasn't going to speak to me. So then sometimes you get intermediaries because sometimes the person that's in the spirit world that really wants to speak to the person ahead of you doesn't want to speak to you. Doesn't have that connection to you, doesn't really want to speak to you, because you are not where they are. So they bring somebody else in. So now you've got two people from the spirit world speaking to you, and the information coming from the person that's speaking to the intermediary, that intermediary is speaking to you. Sometimes it gets lost during that communication. Because sometimes you just don't make that direct hit. You make it through a sidebar or a side vibration. So that's where you're trying to gather as much information as you can and the first few minutes of the reading. Usually readings with people start exactly when the person enters your office. They start. Spirit's already doing stuff. They're already propelling things towards you. You already see this whole vibration in your life. The whole vibration in your life right ahead of you as the person's walking into your office. You're going, okay, Spirit, okay. We'll talk to them. We'll talk to them. We'll tell them this. Because you're already working. You're already getting yourself in the mode as they're walking into your office while they're coming into place and stuff in the office. Because usually mediums understand, or people that do this work, usually people will appear in the office, appear in your dreams, appear at the night before, appear in your office, get up in the morning, people are here. People are around the office, they're talking, they're wandering around the office. If I'm doing readings for the day, I've probably got 6 or 10 people sitting up in my waiting room up in front of my house. And I can hear them talking. I'll walk in and I'll go, oh my God, here he is, here he is, here he is. You know, people are going to, and they're off and running. And they're busy talking to each other and they're waiting for the individual to get here that day. And if I walk in my front of office, I know I have readings, but no one has stepped up to my office, I know the person that's coming that day has had something happen in their life and they're not going to come that day. They're going to call and cancel. And sure enough, I'll get a call on the phone and say, you know, I can't come today. I can't do the reading today. And all of a sudden, they'll cancel and schedule for a different day because there's nobody in my office. There's nobody sitting up there waiting for them to show up. And so when you get to that point, that vibration in your life is understanding and read as many books as you can on subjects. Put as much information as you can, as you personally can in your life. Put it in your mind. Put it in your head. Put it in your head. Whether you read books on tarot, I Ching, runes, put stuff in your head. Figure out what tarot cards mean. So if the guy just flip a tarot card up in front of you, you know exactly what the tarot card means. You know what it means. You know what it connects to. So what you're doing is you're allowing yourself to propel that energy and put it on a shelf in your spiritual cabinet. And your spiritual cabinet. And when you open that cabinet, when you're doing readings, the stuff is there. So Spirit can pull from the cabinet and go shopping and give it to you and put it in your vibration for you. And that's what you're really looking for. You're looking for that energy, that vibration. So if you take these little tools that I've given you today, these tools that I've given you, and set in your vibration, I want you to really, truly try to put them in motion. Try to put a little bit of it in motion, but finesse it enough that it works for you, that it connects to your vibration. Don't just do it because I said that's the way to do it. No, I don't want you to do it exactly the way I do it. Do it what works for you. Do what puts the vibration for you. Puts the vibration for you. Because If you do it the way you want to do it, the way you want to connect to spirit, you will actually keep on doing it. You'll keep on doing it. So the question here is really understanding how you do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put us in Q&A mode. I'm going to put us in Q&A mode. So I am now, I'm pretty sure we are in Q&A mode. So if you want to ask me a question, go ahead and you get in the Q&A thing and ask me a question. But I'm going to keep going for a little bit. But I really want you to really, truly understand that everything about mediumship comes down to a connection to a higher sense of consciousness, a higher vibration, a higher sense. So if you really watch what you're doing or putting in motion within your life, you'll have to really, truly, really connect to that. If you allow yourself to follow your building, think of yourself building a house. When you start this kind of work, you're laying the foundation. You're laying the foundation for the work of the house. As you lay the foundation, put all the stuff in the foundation, then you start building the walls, putting in the inner structure, the electric work, the plumbing, the installation, all the stuff that needs to do to build the house. Then you put the roof on it to protect the house, to protect the vibration, to protect the energy around you. Then you do all that, and then you've made yourself, now your house might not look like anybody else's, but it will look how it looks to you, how it works for you. And no matter what teachers try to teach you and put in the vibration, I hope you take something from today. CERT, C-E-R-T, communication, evidence, reason, tell a story. Or maybe something to do with looking at the candle. Maybe something else to do with something else that I've taught you today. Maybe getting the envelopes, putting something in envelopes, place them away, take them down off the shelf, touch them, see what you feel, what you sense within an envelope. Try to set your psychometry, your feel, the feel of an object, the feel of a vibration, the feel of an object. You can have little parties in your home and people bring things over and people touch them and see what they feel with the object, what they feel with the vibration. So start teaching yourself the feeling and the vibration. So when you do hold a person's hand or you do a reading for somebody, you hold their hand, the psychometry takes in motion. It takes in motion because now you're feeling the energy of the individual, feeling the energy of the person. So allow yourself to find that energy, that connection, that vibration with that. But it's all this is whole true of how you pave the path. It's how you perceive the path, how you place the path together. And that's all I want with me, teaching mediumship, teaching the vibration of mediumship, is teaching the vibration of mediumship, is connecting to that higher sense, that higher vibration, that higher connection. So I really hope that things are exactly how they're supposed to be, and listen to yourself. And I want to thank you. If you have any questions, if you're still here, if you have any questions, but I'm going to call the recording to an end, and I hope to see you next week. I hope to see you next week on the mediumship, and we're going to talk a little bit about healing, working on the vibration of your connection to your true vibration of who you are, and raising the vibration we did with sound, a connection to music, a connection to different things, and try to work with raising the vibration next week at 3 o'clock. I think that might have got clocked off here, but if it didn't, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in today and being part of this.